Are there any movies or moments you watched you said, "I wanna make Chasing Moving Trains feel like this"? Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of stuff because I watched so much, like, during the process of this record, but, if you look at my top 4 in Letterboxd, I think that's, like, a really good I have them as my top 4 right now because they're all huge, connection they're all connected in a big way to the it moved me and inspired me in a big way in connection to the album. Um, can you talk about American Road in New Jersey and its relation to the album? It is not related to the album. I'll say that right now. Um, yeah. What else? What else we got? Have you continued making music since 20 No, I'm not saying that the album is just sitting there for 4 years. I've been working on it every day, and a lot of the things was I'd have, like, missing verses, and I was, like, just writing for a long time because I was like, "Oh, I love the music, but I really wanna say, like, um, I really wanna say something." That's how it felt, where I was like, I don't kinda just wanna get because that was my problem kind of with graffiti. Sometimes the verses, I like Fantasia being made in a day. Yeah, it sounds fucking awesome. Um, but I was like, I didn't really get anything off lyrically." Like, it's kinda just and I think that works better for people sometimes when you're not, like, overthinking syllables and stuff. You're just, um, saying what just not overthinking rhyme schemes or anything like that, just saying literally what fits into, like, what you're singing. But sometimes to me, I feel a little empty. Like, and I know that, like, sometimes things can feel imperfect when, like, it's like, "Oh, maybe he's getting too wordy or he's really trying." But to me, I don't know, over time, I then connect with it all. I mean, obviously, the biggest challenge in the world is making something feel with songwriting is, like, making something feel natural, and, it still have a lot of meaning to it, simplicity and also deep. It's super hard. How did you decide the order of the track list, and did it evolve over time? It's honestly been I've how did I decide it? All the songs kinda speak out to me as I mean, like, I don't know if you guys feel like this, but I feel like with Cat Heaven, like, Cat Heaven was like, they're kinda similar, Cat Heaven, Chasing Moving Trains. Like, if you listen to them, the story arc or also the flow of the records, they're super similar, and I did that on purpose just because I think, it feels, like a movie or something. I'm literally just, like, sequencing records like, "Oh, this would be the first act, this would be the second act, this would be the third act." I like records that feel like that. I like records that feel like it gets intense, at the climax of the record, and then, you get I mean, those are my favorite records in it, so yeah. So every time I would make a song, like, I would be like Garden honestly, Garden was gonna be either in the very early on, like, even pre, like, really having the record at all, like, maybe 2020, mid-2020. Like, I was like, "Oh, yeah, Garden should be, like, the middle of the record." It was gonna be, like, first half was, like I don't know. But yeah. It w I and that changed. People were telling me, like, "That should be the end of the album." I was like, "No, no, like, da da da." And then it was, like, the end of 2020. I was like, "Yeah, this is definitely the last song on the album." I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Um, how many songs were cut from CMT? 2. There were 2 songs I worked on so much to try to get right for this album, and it was, I almost don't wanna tell you because I don't want people to start being like, "Oh, I feel like it's you know what I mean? Like, "Oh," like, where they are in the record because I feel like I mean, you guys can guess, but I feel like I don't wanna tell you because then you'll be like, "Oh, it feels like there's a song missing there." You know what I mean? Um, and, yeah, but, 2. I would argue that, like, this isn't very coming of age. Like, I've been seeing people say that, but I don't really think it's, like, coming of age um, maybe, but, like, maybe, I think it's, like, becoming an adult or I don't know. Because obviously it's, like, 2 different parts of, like, being an adult is, like, when you're, like 18 and then you're like, "Oh, like, it's like being a teenager or, like, turning 20 or something, it's like being a teenager is over," type shit, like and then this is obviously not about that. It's honestly more about I mean, honestly, yeah, I mean, I think it's like a heartbreak record, like, I think it's about I don't really think it's coming of age, but I get it because I think it has that kind of, like, nostalgic, like it's got that tone. I think I'm also just kind of built like that, like, I just kinda make stuff that's structured like that. Um, why did you release CMT and now as opposed to releasing EP or singles? Well, I think, like, honestly, like, part of me wishes I didn't do graffiti, like, to be completely real, because I think, like, that was not the best I honestly just could have, like, not put out music in 2019 and then just, like, worked on because if you think about it, like, Panavision, it's a to me, at least, is a great song, but, I mean, imagine that coming out in 2019. I think everyone would have been like, "This is fucking crazy." In a way where now, breaks and stuff, "Oh, video game music," like, it's much more homogenized? Is that the right word? It's ubiquitous, if you will. It's everywhere. So I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I wish like, oh, I just kind of like kind of put graffiti and Chasing Moving Trains together, but I'm happy I didn't in the same breath. Like I'm really happy this is its own thing. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just didn't want to like slow the show down. I didn't want to like, well, let's just put out a single, and then I'm like a single's out, and then I'm like, well, maybe I don't want to put this out. I feel like sometimes when you do the single EP and you just keep nothing ever comes out because you're just like always chasing your tail a little bit of like, I can't figure this out. I can't crack it. So I'm just trying to keep everyone happy, and I think you need to yeah. I think you need to like not have, don't do the put all of your eggs in one basket. Yeah, you know? Yeah, I didn't make music for like uh I didn't make music for like 6 months in 2022 before I started DJing. And that's why it was so funny when everyone was like fucking hating. Like everyone was like, you're just a DJ and you watch his movies on Letterbox. I'm like, the movies on Letterbox and the DJing are literally keeping me alive right now, like, and also giving me so many ideas. And that's like so it's so funny when people like, you know, at a certain point, it's just like obviously I get everyone wants this album, everyone's frustrated, but it's like, I don't know, I'm a human, man. Like every time I go on like Instagram, people would be like, don't care, drop album. I like literally turned off comments because I was like, this shit is depressing me. I was like, I literally am just a robot uh to make albums for people. But, I get it also because 'cause I've been in the seat of, like, wanting an album so bad, you know? You just said expect stuff next year. Is that just singles or a fully blown project? Wait, when did I say that? When did I say that? Um, what else? There's no way y'all are already asking for new music. That's so funny. Right away! Right away! Last night, let's not talk about it. I'm allowed to have fun. Waiter, waiter. It's funny. Do the fish you keep posting have anything to do with the album, or is it symbolic? Oh, yeah, this is kinda funny 'cause, I was talking to my friends about it and, like, not to be annoying, but, well, when you see the album packaging, some of the fish stuff will make more sense for the physicals, but, the if you will, I mean, obviously, all of Panavision, the song, is about, like to me, it's kind of about, you know, sinking before you realize that you're sinking, or drowning before you realize you're drowning. And it's all about, obviously, it has like all these references to like water and stuff. Um, yeah, so fish, right? Like, it's an easy metaphor to make. I was inspired for that song, by the way. I could be talking about this. There's a song by Outkast called Mainstream, and the hook is like, when you float face down in the mainstream, and it's so hard. And I was like, that's such a good line. And so I stole it kind of for when I was like at the bottom of the river. Whatever. Um, any reason why you wanted to release on November 1st? Well, I think like the fall feels right for this record. It doesn't feel like a summer record, you know? Like, to me, it feels like spring or like early year or fall. Um, yeah. So I guess it just felt right. Also, like, you kinda can't release music in the music industry, like, basically, like, or at least people don't really like you to, because people are, like, out of office and stuff, like, after, like, the 8th. So that's why it was, like, we put together the rollout and everything, like, we were, like, working super hard on it to get the album to you guys, like, right now. I don't wanna buy you flowers for Valentine's Day, but that check ain't hitting till next Friday, but then you flexing 200,000. Dude, I'm so full of shit. That's gaslighty, bro. That is so gaslighty. The hell? Um, who is James Ivy? Look him up, man. The hell? Um, I'm not working with Porter. That's the homie though. I wanted him. It was funny because, like I said, I started working on Garden in 2018, and then like years later, Nurture came out, and I was like, oh, this is pretty similar. And I hit him up, and I wanted him to work on it, but it just didn't happen. But shout out Porter. What DJ software you use? I just use what everyone uses, like Rekordbox or whatever. Are you involved in the mixing process? No troll. I'm involved with everything in such an annoying way, and it drives everyone around me mad. But I am so micromanagey and so detailed focused. Honestly, it's probably a little OCD. Um, but we actually mixed the album twice. Once in 2022 when I was like maybe gonna turn it in, and then I bailed. And then we mixed it again at the beginning of this year, and we spent a month straight on the mix this year. And then we were like on and off for like 2 months working on the mix in 2022. So I mean, it was mixed a lot. What UKG shouldn't I mean, The Streets original Pirate material, huge, huge inspo. Um, Flowers, obviously, Sweet Female Attitude. I think that's what they're called, right? It's been a minute. Was Choker a part of this album? Yeah, he's on Hummingbird. He's on the outro of Hummingbird. He's the guy going, wait a while, a while, a while. I sound so bad right now. If you were to tour, is there any artist that would compliment CMT as an Oprah musically? Well, let's have it be a surprise. If you're gonna release a vinyl for CMT, is there gonna be any alternate verses from any songs on the vinyl? I like the idea of that, but I just sort of feel like I want you to. My sort of thing is like I'm always like, I don't know. And you guys appreciate it because like with Strawberry or like even with Graffiti Mix being on on streaming, like I was like, "No, we're keeping the artwork the same, we're keeping the track list the same, like it's gotta be the thing." And that's how I felt about Strawberry. I was like, "You can't." I mean, this happens so much, right, where someone plays a snippet and then they change the mix or like they do something freaky and then it's like, "Man, it's just not the same." And it's kind of like I knew that and also so I guess what I'm trying to say is like if I was to buy the album of someone, I would wanna hear the album I fuck with, and then if there was, like, an alternate version where I could hear different stuff or, like, in a deluxe version where I could hear alternate stuff, that would be cool, but I wanna own the thing, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I want that I want the album cover on the packaging, like, I don't wanna fuck around, like, I want the thing, so, yeah. Was there a specific train the cover was shot on? Oh, we built that. The entire album cover is a built set. It's all in camera, technically. The credits for the website, when you hover over Chasing Moving Trains, they show up in the bottom right corner if you wanna see. But it was, some very talented people. Um, the New Year's Eve thing, I mean, it's so honestly, a part of it is just, like, enjoy the vibes, low key. Don't ask and just enjoy it's a feeling, you know? But, I think sometimes that happens with me where I just see certain imagery and stuff, and then I just, like, it just gets stuck in my head, and then I just, like, want it to be a part and then I'm like, I don't even know really why. But, when I talk about New Year's Eve on Amberwood, and then we flew out to New York to January 1st, 2019 to basically start this album. And I always, like, while I was working on this album, always, like, had this, like, emotional thing about New Year's and then the movie Strange Days too, like, it just, like, a lot of and then, honestly, at the end of Chasing Moving Trains, that song is supposed to be like the ball is dropping, um, and it's, like, snowy, and it's supposed to be New Year's Eve, and I was gonna put kind of, like, audio, uh, at the end of, like, walking in the snow and, like, "Happy New Year" and stuff, but, it just didn't turn out like, some of the stuff on the record, like, I had more plans for, but it just didn't feel good, and I wasn't gonna do it just to, like, it's the story. It's like, well, no, it's gotta, like, feel good, you know? Should I learn that song? Yeah. Have I seen Lost in Translation? Yeah, but not in a long time. Was there any song you were considering releasing first? There was a song that didn't make the album that I was, like, really banking on making the first song, and it never had any verses on it. I was, like, actually losing my mind. That was, like, 2021. But, then I've never really fully thought about this album as, like, a singles thing. Obviously, other than Strawberry, the album to me, I always felt like, there's, there's no, it's not really about that. So, like, a Vespertine kinda thing. What's a Vespertine kinda thing? Can you explain all the different images and links and poems you're saying? That is not related to CMT, which someone asked earlier, and I said it's not. What would you say the main themes are? Like existentialism, heartbreak, um, not being in the moment, not appreciating the things around you. I did a couple interviews that will come out that you guys can see some of this. Um, yeah, about music videos. I just really want to do it on 35 millimeters, so it's like, obviously it's hard to do that for like 7 music videos or something. I need footage of making the songs. Yeah, all the stuff that I was posting on my the kind of behind the scenes videos that I'm posting with like the audio, that's like footage of us making stuff. And I'm gonna post more of those. Um, how did you like working with an orchestra? It was awesome. Do you have synesthesia? I don't know if I like believe in that. I feel like it's fake. I don't know. I see color when I'm working on music a lot, but I don't know. I don't know if it's like actually is it real? I just like hear about it and like I'm like, doesn't everyone experience this? Not to be like annoying, but I'm like, I feel like a lot of people I don't know, to me like karaoke feels so like red and dark and like Amberwood feels so like purple, but I don't know if that's just my brain. Um I don't know if my brain is like uh I don't know if my brain is like I don't know if the visuals like for example, right? Like you make something and then you think like, "Oh, this sounds like obviously garden," and you call it garden and it's like pretty and I almost feel like because you basically get led to the color based off like preconceived ideas. That's how I feel where I'm like, "Oh, like this song I wrote a lyric. Okay, so now this song is green to me," or something, I don't know. Or I also think it has to do with like the audio like the frequency stuff is at like, oh, this is high end, like this is all high end to me. All high end's like green, yellow, bright. If something's like actually bright texturally, to me that's like, yeah, that's like yellow and orange and green. And then like if something's kind of like deep and like you know jazzy, like I'm like, oh, it's purple, or I don't know, but it's just kind of, I don't know, maybe I do have synesthesia, but I don't know. Low key, that sounds like a diss. As a new fan and someone that loves how you manipulate your vocals in these songs, or like if you didn't say that, just can you put to a place in the song where you are singing with your natural voice? Can you play? You got one moment, bro, where you're not capping. Um, well, thank you. Yes, second verse on Hummingbird, the first almost all of Amberwood. Uh, uh, I think that's it. Oh, the end of Strawberry. We were coming back from K's. We went, that's that's my normal voice. I don't know. Did you get inspo in Miami for karaoke? No, it's just a part of the story of the record. I wasn't like inspired. There wasn't like I wasn't like hearing music out and being like, damn, this is shit hard. It was just like I'm kind of telling a loose story with the album. It's not very obvious what it is on purpose, but yeah. Tyler Smith is behind the CMT logo and graffiti logo. He's the GOAT. I love him. Did I go to Kyoto? No, I lied. That's cap. Let's imagine. We can be a little surreal. We can be a little you know, yeah. I was gonna go, but then COVID happened. Who performed the sax solo in Panavision? That was Al, who co-produced, engineered, and mixed the album. Brainiac. Al Carlson. Other than Choker, what other guest vocals are there? This girl Mina. min.a. Um, and yeah, sorry. When you said my brain's not fucking working. Mina and I think it's just Mina and Choker. I'm trying to think if anyone else sings on it. Does anyone else sing on it? I don't think so. I think the story is pretty obvious. Well, I'm fucking sorry. I'm sorry that I'm making it sound deeper than it is. I think there's a lot going on that maybe you're not picking up on because not a lot of people are talking about it, and that's okay. I do feel like this album sounds like being at night by yourself. Hey, Benzo. Hey, Error 404 and Benzo. What role does changing your hairstyle's hair color play into your artistry? Nothing. Literally nothing. When I was younger, I just was like, I don't like having normal hair. I look like normie. So I was like dyeing my hair a lot. But honestly, I think I look cute with blonde hair. Like I think it brings out my eyes. So that's why I dye my hair blonde. But I should probably stop or I'm literally gonna go bald. Is there anything that you really want us to pick up from the album? I guess just like the album's like regionally based, where it's I mean that's obviously like a little bit obvious, but the album's like in 3 parts basically. It's like Karaoke to Hummingbird, Clear to Plum, and then Chasing Moving Trains to Garden, basically. And you could kind of put Chasing Moving Trains on either side of it, honestly. Did I actually go to Kauai to meet Rick? I did. What was the most difficult song to write finish? Honestly, all of this was super hard to write. It was very hard to write. That's why it took so long. The most difficult song to crack was Belmont. And I don't even know if I really got the like maybe I cooked it a little bit, but I think I do like that song a lot. You like I think when we were listening to it, I was like, this is sick. Do you feel like you have a strong connection to nature and did that? Yes. Yeah, I think that's a big part of this too. You can afford a Tesla? No, I'm broke now. That was like 5 years ago. I say I'm 22 in that song. I'm 27. I'm about to be 28 in like 2 weeks. You've been pitch shifting your voice a lot throughout the record. Is there contextual significance for it? No. I think it's a thing where I just think shit sounds fire pitched up. What happens when you grow up on Tyler, I guess. But every time I pitch a song up, I'm like, it sounds hard. So I just started pitching on my voice a lot. I literally just sound better pitched up or down. I hate to say it. But I want to get I think low key, I gotta be honest with you guys, the next album, I kinda gotta like not do it. I gotta do like yeah. What was I gonna say? Belmont goes so hard, saw Jimmy. Okay, so Jimmy did some guitar on it that Alex, one of the producers who worked on the whole album, sampled and kind of pitched around. And some kind of in the background lead stuff. And we kind of restructured the song a little bit where like that second chorus was longer but then he kinda did that cool thing where it, like, cut out early. Because I mean, he's an amazing songwriter, right? So, like, I was like, "I kinda need you to, like, help me make this a better song," and, like, yeah, he kinda came in the last minute and helped me, like, just change it a bit, but for the better. What plugins were used for this album? Honestly, it's a lot of analog stuff, but, something that I feel like a lot of people don't really know about that I think is really good is, like, Waldorf synths and, what else? I think, like, Serum. But one of the producers I was working with is, like, he downloads a lot of patches from people, so it's like, I don't even know. But, like, if you the album's not super VST-ish, maybe in an engineering sense it is, or, like, but it's a lot of real things. I personally use, like, a lot of, like, some of the more textural stuff on the album, like, on CMT near the beginning, I don't know if you can hear it, or, like, when I'm singing, like, deep on CMT, like, for that breakdown, there's, like, some glitchy stuff, and I was doing a lot of stuff just in, like, Granulator, Max for Live stuff. I really like fucking around in Max for Live. Um, Tujiko Noriko and Aoki Takamasa, kind of. That world of music in terms of the glitch pop stuff I really like, or whatever you would call it. Um, I feel like I do fuck with it, but I just don't listen to it like that. I know a lot of people around me are really into it. I personally just am not, like, the biggest fan. I don't know why. Sometimes it just takes a while. I'll hear something, I'm like, "That's hard," and then, like, it's 2 years later, I'm like, "This is the best thing I've ever heard." Like, actually need to sit down with something. I'm super lazy with, like, actually, yeah, sitting down with art. Newest inspiration? I don't know. Was there ever a release date set back in 2018, 2019, 2020 that you skipped? What do you mean by that? Like, was I gonna drop the album in 2019, 2020, and I changed my mind? What's your most favorite song you have made so far in your entire career? Like, how long have I been answering questions? Like an hour? Oh, maybe I should stop soon. Um, what what's your most favorite song that you have made so far in your entire career? Like, if you put your ashes in a vinyl disc, what would it be? Maybe Garden, maybe Garden. Maybe Garden, low key. Uh, yeah. I don't think I've met it yet. I made it yet. I don't think I've made it yet, but, it might be Garden, low key. Was there any artist you want on the record, but it just didn't work out? A few people, yeah. Nice, GB. You plan on exploring more genres in your new music? In a weird way, no. Like, I think this album is, like, so me. Like, I think every album I make after this is gonna be like it's gonna make sense, and it's gonna be like, "Okay," you know, I don't get boring, and I always think it's gonna be different enough that, like, people connect with it, but I think I really arrived, uh, at something with this. that I wanted to and I'm not even saying like, "Oh, yeah, because it's like an electronic album." I mean, like, it references virtually, like, the main points of and well, in a way that Cat Heaven didn't, even though I wanted it to, and it's like, that record's emotional and it works and everything, but, like, this record does get close to being something that I would be a fan of personally, in a way that I don't think Cat Heaven would be. Like, I don't think I would like Cat Heaven if I were a fan, low key. If I was, like, listening to music, I think I would maybe in 2017, but now I'd be like, "Uh, no, I'm not feeling this." And I think Chasing Moving Trains, 20 years from now, I'll probably be like, "This is pretty sick. This is pretty valid." So, favorite analog synth you used for the record? Um, Boy, You Want Some Candy Corn? I'm getting the fuck off here. Um, where do you recommend to listen to the album? Listen to it on a train. Let's do it on a fucking, anywhere. Outside. It's will probably be nice. I like one time I was, like, getting ready to go out, like, at night, and I had it on in the background, and it was, like, sick. I was like, "This is, like, some getting ready to go out music." Maybe not, though, for some people. Maybe some people wanna listen to, like, something fun. But, yeah. Thanks. Okay, guys. I love you. Thanks for doing this. Boy, you want some candy corn? What? Have you started the next album yet? Will it be as long? Is that a bad thing if it's as long? It's sounding like it's a bad thing to you. Favorite analog synth? Man, so many. I got to use so much cool shit on this record. Uh, some of my favorite analog synths, I guess, though, are like Oberheim, OBXA, just like the pad sound, or OBX. The end of the title track, the pad is a pitch down OBX, and that's like the best pad I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. It sounds so good. Um, Trying to think of what else. I use this thing called a Gleeman Pentaphonic, which is like this like rare as fuck, like only 50 of them were made. That's like the last synth sound you hear on Garden. I got to use that at the studio, and it was really cool. Like I was like, I didn't know it was so rare, and I was like fucking with it, and I was like, wow, this is like really sick. And then I was like, how much are these? And then he was laughing. He was like, no, it's not happening. Like he was like, you're not gonna find this shit, dude. Um, and that's so frustrating because I feel like a lot of those like really expensive synths. I'm like, eh. Like at the beginning of this album, I bought a really expensive synth because I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to like ball out, use this synth on every song. And I had never really used it before. And then when I got it, I just never used it. And I sold it. And I was like, well, that was stupid. But um I also used like a Korg monopoly a lot. I don't even know if it ended up on the record. Oh, it did at the beginning of Rain. The synth is like the ones that's like arpeggiating. That was a Korg monopoly, and that synth is fucking sick. Um it is like just very like, you can do really weird stuff with it. And honestly, it's the lead synth on Electric Feel by, MGMT, which I didn't know when I bought it, but I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Good synth sound." Like, that synth is weird. Trying to think if we used anything else that was, like, really sick. I mean, almost like every song, the bass is like Mini Moog, Model D, or like a Voyager. Every song. Um Put CMT on Bandcamp so we can pay for it? I think I'm gonna do, like, a digital album thing, yeah. I think on the website, but we're figuring that out. Um, thank you guys. Alright, Imma get out of here. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for listening with me. Um, I'm fucking out. Bye bye.